Right behind me there's an area that I have been working on since we have moved to this house, and that has been 6 years ago. And this area was full of thorn bushes and climbing vines that choke up other plants and spread by rhizomes and by seeds, and I think it was like a Russian olive tree. I could be wrong, I'm not sure, but it had like these really big thorns and it was sprawling everywhere, and tons of sumac trees. And over the years I've just dug up all these things by hand with a shovel and cut them back with the pruners, like really tiny pruners, and finally this year everything is cut back. I still have some stumps over here, and I have some ideas on what I'm going to be doing with them. So today I want to be planting some plants over here, and I kind of want to show you what I did. The thorn bushes were sticking up like right about here. They were filling up this whole area, and we also had a thorn bush up on, two of them, up on this hill over here. Since we moved to this house, I had plans to make this hill into a butterfly garden, and it's in the works right now. I'm not going to show it to you because it's pretty bad right now, but it's, you know, it's a process and it takes work and effort to get it to reach to the place where I would like it to be, and especially if you don't have large tools, you know, like a bobcat or something like that, to just like dig everything out. And I'm only one person here. So today I have dug out some of these phlox over here. This one is wilted because my toddler woke up and I had to go and take care of her. And these are several, they were in clumps, but then they broke up when I dug them out, and I have them sitting in some water. It looks like some of them are wilting. They're probably not reaching, their roots are probably not reaching the bottom. And today it's pretty warm. It's 74 degrees out here, and let me show you what I did over here. So I had these roses planted underneath our front window about 4 years ago. So I dug them up early spring and I planted them over here, and they're doing great. You could see they're starting to bud up. So I have 3 of them over here. And last year I planted some Shasta daisies in this area over here that we were using as a vegetable garden, but we have other plans for it, and I'm not going to talk about it right now. You will learn about what's going to happen over here in the future someday, not sure when, so stay tuned to know what's going to happen over here. And let's get back to over here. So I planted these a couple days ago. They're a little wilted, they need some water, but you know, I dug them up and I didn't have any water with me, so I just kind of laid them on the ground, and eventually I planted them over here. But you can see I've kind of created a drift of them over here, and I also got this magnolia tree and I planted it right in the center. I created this, I dug all the plants from around here, and you could see that sumac tree over there. A lot of these sumac trees, I actually cut the roots of them. Their roots were pretty shallow, and so I cut them with a shovel, and eventually I got myself some loppers, and I also used the loppers to cut the roots with them. The roots are very soft, and then I was able to kind of put my weight on the trees and pull them down that way, and I was able to pull a lot of trees that way. And some of them I wasn't able to do that even after cutting their roots up. Sometimes I was able to cut them up with a shovel too. So my husband came and cut the top off, and eventually the second year they would rot, and then I would be able to pull them up out of the ground. So these, I tried doing that. I tried cutting the roots of these trees over here, and and pulling them up like I did with the others. But the difference between these that you see over there and the ones that I cut on the other side, or I pulled down on the other side, was that this side over here had a landscaping fabric underneath it, so it seems like this area was landscaped at a certain point of time, and then it got neglected and became this way. And so I was able to pull them up by the roots very easily. But the other ones over there, I think they were sending some tap roots deep down because they didn't have anything hindering their the plants from sending their roots into the ground. That's one thing you want to think about if you are using landscaping fabric, that if you plant directly on top of it without cutting the into the fabric, you are going to hinder the plants from growing. And even if you do cut, you have to kind of make a big shape for the cut out a big shape for the plants in order to be able to expand and to have its roots sprawl out everywhere so that they can grow healthy, so that they can grow and be healthy. So I still have a lot that I would like to plant over here, and I had a plan in my mind, but I thought, you know, let me just use what I have over here. And I have some seeds that I planted also. I'm probably going to be planting them over here, like maybe some lupins and some gomphrena purple, what's it called, atomic purple gomphrena. Not sure where I'm going to fit them, but so you can see here what I did with the roots. They're all cut up, and over here I used the axe on this one because that was a pretty big root. Now this tree over here was already cut up from last year, but its roots are still pretty good in the ground, and I wasn't able to pull it up. I also forgot to mention that I put down some organic herbicide on the painted the trunk of the tree, the top of it, once it was cut, right after my husband cut it, so to kill the tree so that it wouldn't sprout again, because if you leave it and you don't do anything about it, it's going to sprout sumacs everywhere. And that's what was happening with the other trees. They were just this whole area over here. You can see the pile of grass that I pulled up from here. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with this, but you can see this whole area over here was being filled with the sumac trees all the way up to there. And again, here you go, you see it, it's ugly right now, but I have the cardboard down there to kill all the seedlings, any seedlings that sprout, and the wind pulled up a lot of my cardboard and just threw it all over our yard. So I have to go and collect all that stuff one day. Don't know when, when I have the time. But eventually I'm going to be getting some mulch, and I'm going to be planting a lot of plants over here too. Anyways, let's get back to this. So these are some of the branches that my husband cut up from the sumacs. And what I was thinking for these sumacs over here, since they're still here and I'm not going to be able to get them out this year, is maybe I could put a pot on each of them and kind of create like a trailing effect and of some plants, or maybe have something that grows a little bit higher than these plants over here. They are taking up some good real estate from here, and I would have been able to plant some nice stuff in here, but it's okay, you know, one thing at a time, not a big deal. So maybe I'll ask my husband to kind of straighten this up, because the way how he cut it in a way so that the tree would fall in the direction that he wants it to, and so he had to create kind of a notch over here. You can see it clearly on this one. So it's a little bit unstable for a pot, so maybe if he could cut it for me at a level spot, then I would be able to put a pot on each of them and have this kind of cool effect and use what I have over here. Now this stump over here, it's rotting. I tried getting it out last year, but I wasn't able to. I think this is the Russian olive. They're not actually true olives, it's just that's its name. Its leaf is similar to that of an olive tree, but it was pretty wild and very, like, it was sticking up all the way up to where that bucket is, right there, and filling up this whole area with its branches that were like sprawling on the ground. So maybe one day when I have the time, I'll probably come with the axe. I'll dig up around the roots and I'll try to do the same that I did with the crab apple tree and pull it up that way. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. If you haven't, I'll put a link for it in the description box below, how you can pull up a tree without much tools. I just basically used an axe and some loppers and a shovel, and you can do that too. But oh, and this phlox also came up on its own in this area, and I've been babying it while I was also getting rid of all the jungle that was here. If I have a picture of what it used to be like, I'll put it up. So I'm going to be transplanting this also because I don't want it to be in the front because they do get tall, and I'm going to put it in the back, probably in this area over here. So let's start. And I also have to mulch. I have about 12 bags of mulch that I'm going to be putting down. I don't know if it's enough mulch, but we'll do with it whatever we can. So you can see the cuteness. You can also see where I lined them up. And I do leave, well, I should have cleaned them up, but I do leave the bloom stalks on the phlox from year to year so that they could drop their seeds and spread everywhere so that I could just transplant them whenever I want. They also give me a variety of colors this way because they mix with each other and give beautiful different colors, and I like that. And they're all like similar to each other, but just like a varying in gradient. So you can see I started over here close to this rose right there, and then I created a drift over to over here. I wish this wasn't here. I would have probably planted them right behind these Shasta daisies and on this side, but because these are here, I kind of had to change my plan, but that's okay. So, and I'm using what I have here. These are all free plants except for that, and the roses, which I bought about 4 years ago. So you can do this. You can, start with a smaller tree than this. You don't have to start with a big tree. And the roses I've been taking care of for 4 years, so they're a lot bigger, of course, and they're going to give me much more bloom power. So now let's go ahead and plant these before they wilt too much. What are you doing, you cutie? Yeah. Don't touch the water. That's water.
Oh, suck it.
Yeah.
Look, suck it.
You're shaking it. I love you.
Come here.
Okay. I totally forgot that I'm going to be moving this phlox over here too, so I have to dig it out and place it before I start planting. Landscaping fabric. I will come back and take the bloom stalks off also. They're all wilted right now because they have been sitting outside of the water for a while, and you know, toddlers and kids. So I have to go in and out of the house and attend to the kids' needs while I'm doing this project. But you can see the mayflies are all around me right now. You can see that's how it looks like. And these rocks over here in this bed, I dug from the hole where I was digging to plant this magnolia tree over here. So I dug these 4 large rocks. This right here is the largest rock, and also a lot of other smaller rocks. This is how our entire land is like. And I also, earlier when I was digging up for the roses, I dug up this rock and that rock over there just from these holes and some other smaller rocks. So it's pretty insane. These rocks that are lining the bed are all from our land. And you can see that I shaped, the mayflies are very thick over here. You can see that I shaped it sort of like a kidney shape. And what I wanted when I was designing this bed, when the inspiration first came as I was cleaning this whole area from the thorn bushes, and once I started working on this tree over here and cutting it back, there was still a lot of thick stuff over here. But once I was cutting this tree, I had the inspiration of having a magnolia tree pretty much where that tree is and having it as a centerpiece of this area. But once I was once I was positioning the magnolia tree, I realized, I thought about how wide this tree is going to get, and I also thought about how this tree over here was reaching over to the fence on the other side of me on this side. And I didn't want that to happen again, and I wanted us to be able to come with a lawnmower and have a pass over here without the branches hitting us and reaching over to the other side of the fenced-in area that we have over here. So I thought putting it in the center, sort of in the center of the bed, would make... The mayflies are everywhere. Maybe I should switch positions. So yeah, I thought maybe putting it in the center of the bed would make a better centerpiece that way, and I would have more space to plant things that I would like to plant. I want to also have an oak leaf hydrangea over here, maybe some red twig dogwood or something like that on the opposite side where kind of where the sumac trees are. And I don't know, it will develop through time and get to the place where I would like it to be, and it's a constant change, I think, because I might like something more than another in its place. I might eventually remove the Shasta daisies and plant something else in their place. I also bought some purple salvia seeds, that perennials, that I'm going to be planting, and I'll probably put them in front of the Shasta daisies. Now I'm going to mulch up the area and water the plants. I just want to say, if you guys are new here and you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos. So let's continue and mulch this bed. So there it is right now. I still have that area over there to mulch. Oh, I forgot. There, that hole over there, where I dug the phlox, I need to fill it with some dirt and then put the mulch down. But I'm not gonna put the mulch down until I do that. But I probably need about 10 to 15 more mulch bags, and the first set of mulch bags I was able to buy on sale. The rest, this sale was out when I went to buy them. So I'm hoping that maybe in the future I will be able to put an oak leaf hydrangea over there, like at the edge of where that tree used to be, and maybe either a mini smoke bush or something with red leaves in here, and maybe like in front of this one or in the back over here, I might put like either a boxwood or a mini arborvitae or something like that, an evergreen thing, so that in the winter we have some interest. I don't know if you guys check this out, but I have a blog post on how to do a temporary outdoor patio, just to kind of give you an idea of where you want to put your patio. So I'm going to be expanding this a little bit in the future, probably this summer, very soon, right after I finish setting up my vegetable garden. And on the sides, so you can see its scale is very small in comparison to this giant flower bed over here. So I'm going to be making it a little bit bigger, and I will put a link for this blog post down in the description box below. In the future, maybe next year, I'll probably be getting some gravel to put it in here, just to kind of have a feel of what we want it to be like. And then in the future we might put some bricks or flagstones or something like that. I don't know, we'll see what will happen. The plans might change in the future, but for now that's what I have in mind. So here's just a quick look at how everything is looking like, and I'm gonna be watering everything. I hope you guys are not getting dizzy. It's very hard to move the camera without gyro head, so there we go. I'll try to be stable over here. If you guys like this kind of content, I also have a video on how to, or actually 2 videos on how to develop a garden space, and I will be linking them at the end of this video over here and also in the description box below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye. Now I'm gonna go water these plants and finish up the mulching and put up the dirt and all that stuff.